Hi everyone, good evening. I'm Brock. So today let's introduce another open source project. So what I did is I searched for the keywords AI and ranked them and sorted them by most of the stars. And the top one is called AutoGPT. And if you look at the growth of its history, it grew really fast in the past year. Okay, let's start. So AutoGPT is an open source AI agent platform that allows users to create, deploy, and manage continuously running agents capable of automating complex workflows. Released on March 13, 2023, it quickly became one of the most popular AI projects on GitHub, currently boasting over 181,000 stars. That's impressive. AutoGPT's mission is to make AI accessible to everyone, whether for using or building. Its core value is autonomy, visual building, continuous operation, open ecosystem. Front end is Next.js and React. Backend is Fast API plus Python. Scheduler is AP Scheduler. Executor is Workflow Engine. And it has external services and a data layer. So external services is LLM APIs, integrations. And data layer includes PostgreSQL, SQL, Redis, RabbitMQ. Okay, so hands-on experience. Maybe because of the massive usage. To try it on their website, we need to join the waitlist. So yeah. Actually, I already joined the waitlist earlier today. So I want to rejoin again. Let me see. Well, whatever. Okay, so I think thank you means I joined the waitlist. So and another way is to self-hosting it. To run it locally. The core features. So the core features include the agent builder, build a simple AI workflow with visual interface, log into platform, create a new agent, trigger block, add LLM blocks, add output block, save and deploy. So it's kind of like play with Lego, right? It provides different modules, and the end user just need to put different components together. Feature 2, pre-built agents. So the object is to use and modify example agents provided by the platform. Browse marketplace, select example agent, clone and customize, test run. Okay. Feature 3, multi-step workflow. Create a complex workflow with condition logic and multiple pathways. So, even if we are using agents to execute the complex tasks, right? But actually, we still use, we still need design the workflow by ourselves, right? Example scenario: automated content moderation system. So the workflow is webhook accept. Well, so you see, in my prompt, actually I mentioned that the mermaid diagram must be, provide both English and Chinese. But here is only provide Chinese version. So, sometimes it just doesn't follow my instruction very strictly. So implementation steps: block 1, webhook trigger; block 2, OpenAI chat; block 3, conditional router; block 4a, send email; block 4b, database insert; block 5, logger. And the configure integration, such as integrate with email, configure database connection, test the case. Okay. Feature 4, scheduled agents. Test objective: create an agent that runs automatically on a schedule. Example: daily news summary bot. So step 1, create a workflow. Work 1, web scraper, LLM summarize, send email. Step 2, set up schedule. Step 3, enable scheduling. Step 4, verify execution. Feature 5, integration testing. Test objects, test the AutoGPT's integration capabilities with third-party services. Okay. So here's different features to test. Text generation analysis, web search, post-content monitoring, task management database, message sending, content generation. The main idea for those agents is to automate the repetitive work as much as possible. Test steps. Actually, I think that just read through those test steps doesn't make too many sense. However, because I cannot test it online in the web server, so I just to make things easier, I just read through the steps. But later, when I get accepted for the wait list, I think that I would love to try it on in real environment. So OAuth integration test, API key integration test, webhook integration test, expected result. Feature 6, monitoring and analytics. Okay. So use platforms monitoring and analytics to track agent performance. Access analysis dashboard. View key metrics. Execution log analysis. Performance optimization. Advanced feature testing. Feature 7. Custom block development. Create a custom block using the SDK, such as create a currency convention block. Okay, set up development environment, create blocks, implement blocks logic. Well, I wonder when you say implement block logic, the end user need to do this by manually or this is handled by AutoGPT? Regis and test. Core feature explanation. First one, autonomous agents. Autonomous agents refer to AI's ability to independently complete a series of tasks without continuous human intervention. It's like having a virtual assistant. You just tell it to go, and it will break it down to steps and execute them. It's just like human, right? For a manager, when he or she hire a person, most of the time, the manager will just give a goal, what he or she want to achieve, right? As for how to achieve the goal, you know, the specific employees actually can be flexible, right? And when there is something uncertain, the employee should feel comfortable to reach back and ask, the manager to provide more clarification. So an example here is that you just say, help me organize a 20-person birthday party. Then the agent will start to do a lot of stuffs, not only design, but also, make orders, things like that. And see, here are some technical implementations such as task decomposition, workflow orchestration, state management, error recovery. And the next one is visual workflow builder. So users build AI workflow by dragging and dropping visual blocks without writing complex code. Each block represents a function unit, such as call GPT for send email, read database. Okay. So kind of like, build a house with Lego blocks. And an example is to create an automated customer service level bot. So the first part is webhook, receive customer message, LLM, analyze question tab. Question tab, if it's an order inquiry, then query database. If it needs tech support, then search knowledge base. If it is complaint, then create a ticket. So we'll generate response and send message. Okay. So this is how to build it. And it's already provided 80s plus pre-built block ecosystems. When we have smartphone, we have the app store concept. We have, the idea to create an application. But in AI era, maybe what will exist in the platform is is those brokers. So AutoGPT provides over 80 ready-to-use blocks covering AI, web, data processing, social media, and more. Users can select and assemble these blocks like using an app store to build workflows. Okay, here's some different categories. Okay, makes sense. And continuous execution and scheduling. So agent can not only be manually triggered to run once, but it can also be set to continuously listen for external events, such as webhooks, or execute periodically on schedule, such as cron scheduling. Okay. Examples like webhook trigger, all the processing system, and scheduled, such as competitor price monitoring. Okay. And also, it provides multimodal support. AutoGPT is not tied to a single AI model. It supports multiple LLMs, including OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Local, or Llama, etc. Users can choose the most suitable model based on tasks. Okay, so based on different tasks, it will go into different models. Okay. They also provide state management and version control. AutoGPT provides version control for each agent workflow. Similar to Git, you can save, roll back, and compile different versions, ensuring experiment change don't break production. Okay. Core technology, LLM prompt engineering. So imagine a super smart assistant who needs precise instructions because, again, the more clarified, and the more clarified the definition is, the easier for the end user to understand it, and for the agent or even for humans, right? If the instruction is unclear, then it's pretty hard for for people to execute the task. Here are some tactics. So few short learning. Provide a few examples to LM to understand the patterns. Yeah, so that makes sense, right? When our mentor, when our reporting manager ask us to do something, they will say, okay, you can use what as a reference. Then we have some sense how we should do that, right? So yeah, provided a few shots. And a chain of thoughts. Get LM to reason step by step instead of giving direct answers. So, which means that as a human, ourselves should already have some thoughts about how the workflow should looks like, right? And role playing, let LLM play specific roles to improve output quality. That's also something very interesting. It sounds like that for humans, such prompt looks ridiculous, right? I ask someone to do something, and I cannot say to them, okay, pretend you are the CEO of NVIDIA. What decisions you want to do, right? But for agents, somehow such role play seems working. And also vector embeddings and the semantic search. Okay. So embedding means convert text into numerical vectors, and vector is just a list of numbers. Okay. So the basic idea is convert text into vector, and then we calculate the similarity between the vectors. If the cosine similarity is high, then we say, okay, these two text is highly related. Makes sense. And asynchronous task orchestration. So asynchronous, which means execution mode that doesn't require waiting, right? But for orchestration, coordinating execution sequence of multiple tasks, such as if you are preparing a dinner, if you do it in a synchronous way, it's efficient. But if you can synchronous, which start those different tasks simultaneously, then it will be much more efficient. And this is the workflow. So workflow start, task queue, and it began to execute different blocks. Then result aggregation, the next step. Okay, and here is give some how they achieve that. So they use Python, Async.io. They use Rabbit, message queue. They use WebSocket, real-time communication. And another core feature is called agent protocol. Right. So if imagine if all the applications appliance in the world use different parts, then it's pretty hard. So AutoGPT use the agent protocol standard. And yeah, it use a lot of REST API or fast API such format command like post, right? Get. And here's some technology about related to AI. So agents. An AI agent is a software identity that precisely perceives its environment through some sensors, make decisions based on that perception, and acts upon the environment through automation to achieve specific goals. Actually, a human is just like an agent, right? And the LLM, a large language model is a type of artificial intelligence model trained on vast amounts of test data, capable of understanding and generating human-like tests. LLM use deep learning techniques, typical transformer architecture, to prevent the next word in a sequence and enabling them to perform tasks like translation, summarization, question answering, and creative writing. Prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is a practice of design and refining input prompts to elicit desired output from large language model. It involves carefully crafting instruction, providing context, and structuring queries to get models' response effectiveness. Often use techniques such as few-shot learning, chain of thoughts, prompting, and role-playing. RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. RAG is a technique that encourages and enhances language model outputs by first retrieving relevant information from an external knowledge base, then using that information as context for generating responses. This approach combines the strengths of information retrieval system with generating models, reducing hallucination and providing more accurate, up-to-date answers. The basic idea is that to ask AI to find in the database before they give answers. That also makes sense, right? It's just like when I ask a human something, they may, based on their previous memory, they may give me a first version of answer. However, if we check out the details, maybe we will find out. Well, let's find a let's find some, citation or source of truth to answer this question. Okay, and token. A token is a basic unit of text that a language model process. It can be a word, part of word, or even character, depending on the tokenization method. Most modern LLMs use sub-word tokenization, while common words are single tokens, while rel or long words are split into multiple tokens. Token count determines API costs and context window limits. Make sense? Fine-tuning. Fine-tuning is the process of taking a pre-trained large language model and further train it on smaller domain-specific dataset to adapt it to a particular task or writing styles. The techniques allows companies to customize general-purpose models like GPT-4 to better understand the industry jungle, follow brand voice guidance, or perform specialized tasks with high accuracy without training a model from scratch. Okay. Context window. The context window is the maximum amount of text measured in tokens that a language model can process at a time, including both the input prompt and the generated output. It represents the model's working memory. Text out of this window is not considered when generating response. Large context window allow for longer documentation, more detailed conversations, and better retention of information throughout interaction. In the past few years, you will find that the memory or the context window actually doubles or even 10 times every year. Hallucination. Hallucination in AI refers to an instance where when a language model confidently generates information that is factually incorrect, fabricated, or not grounded on its training data or provided context. This occurs because LLMs are fundamentally pattern matching systems that predict plausible sounding text, not knowledge base with fact checking mechanism. Hallucinations are partly problematically in domains requiring factual accuracy, like medical advice, legal guidance, or technical documentations. The current AI at the end of the day is still to predict the next word. But how about humans? It seems that we also are doing the same thing, I guess. Model don't know, they don't know. Well, it's kind of like, when we talk about humans regulation ability, right? At the very beginning, we don't know. Then we know we don't know, right? Then we know what we know. And then at the end, we will know what we don't know, right? Things like this. So here are some, solutions to reduce hallucination, such as RAG, retrieval real data, like require citation, right? But sometimes it also gave a false citation as well. And the low temperature, use chain of thoughts, human review. The interesting thing is that nowadays from DeepSeek, right, we will ask the AI agents to 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 provide some how they come to this conclusion, kind of like a math problem, right? It doesn't make sense if you only just give the answer. You must give each step how you come to the conclusion, right? And the embedding. Embedding is a mathematical representation of text, image, or other data as a dense vector or floating point numbers in a high-dimensional space. Embedding captures semantic meaning. Similar concepts are located close together in this vector space, enabling machines to perform tasks like similarity search, clustering, and recommendation. Model embedding models like OpenAI's text embedding 3 large produce vectors with hundreds of thousands of dimensions. Okay. Temperature. Temperature is a hyperparameter that controls the randomness of a language model's output. It ranges from 0 to 2 or higher in some implementation. No temperature make model more deterministic or focused, always choosing the highest possibility like the token. It's kind of in real life, right? When we live in a place with low temperature, such as Seattle, we also tend to be more, too modest, right? Don't show off, don't, too be imagination. And the high temperatures such as 1.5 will increase randomness and creativity, allowing the model to explore less likely but potentially more interesting response. Temperature 0 results in completely deterministic output, right? So kind of like, okay, when you go to California or even go to Bay Area, its temperature is high. When temperature is high, means that the results we get may be more diverse. Okay. Yeah, here's some system architecture. So as you can see, it's divided into about six parts. The first part is client layer. Next part is API gateway layer, and front end layer, and the REST API or WebSocket layer, which is backend. Then there are some external services and data layer. Here's some core modules. Because I provide the source code when I generate this port, so the core modules actually is analyzed from the source code rather came from imagination. So this also helps a lot when we go through the core modules. So this is the structure of the front end. Okay, and here's the data flow. And backend architecture. So this is backend. And here's some technology concepts. And this is database architecture. Okay. And block system architecture. The main idea. Blocks are AutoGPT's core innovation in capturing complex integration into reusable module. It sounds like Docker, huh? Because Docker is also, reusable module. And the workflow execution engine. So this is to define, on each step what happened. And also it has some security architecture. And here's some milestones. Unfortunately, the mermaid picture doesn't load successfully. Anyway. So although AutoGPT is not an academic research project, but a lot of papers cite it as an AI agent example. So you see nowadays the open source community and the research academic media is tightly related to each other. The co-founder is named Torren Bruce Richards, based in Edinburgh, Scotland. Okay, it's a game developer and a software engineer. I feel that this person's background. You see, actually, I already researched AutoGPT on December 4th. Interesting. Which means I do this again. Hmm. Oh, anyway. Okay. So what's my source here? So today is December 1st, February 1st. Actually, I already go through this open source project on December 4th, which is 2 weeks ago, two months ago. I do it again, which means I all forget about it. If I forget about it, I think it's fine to redo it again. That's okay. But yeah, that's okay. So since I already made a video to go through it, then I just yeah quickly scan it. Hmm. Interesting. It gives some suggestion about my personal projects. Oh yeah, in my prompt, I think that I mentioned this. That's why it gives this. I guess I mentioned this, right? Oh yeah, ask it to give some suggestion about what I'm working on now. That's okay. Hmm. Yeah, it also provide a comparison between China and American. Some suggestion about the OPT stuff. Okay. Okay. This is some plan for my future decision. Yeah. So conclusion, AutoGPT as a pioneer in the AI agent field has accumulated over 181K GitHub stars in less than 3 years through its unique path of open source first, community-driven, and visual building. Some of the most popular projects in this field. Okay, yeah, I think that's pretty much for today. Again, one of my big learning is that every time when I start, you know, research or open source projects, I should pause a minute and check whether I already go through, you know, this open source project before, right? Such as whether I already made a video on this. Mm, And also another source is that recently some open source project is pretty hot, such as I think there's something called Clawbot, right? Yeah, something like that. Clawbot. And maybe I can try it, but the reason why I don't want to do it is I don't want to, I hear something, then I began to, do that. I prefer, to go through this list, one by one. And also that I guess another thing I can do is that for all the open source projects, as long as I already made a video for it, I should start it. Oh, okay, let me log in. Okay. So yeah, so let me write down on my notes. So for all the open source projects, I made a video. I should start it because I made a video for AutoGPT twice, one on December 4th and another one on February 1st. Okay, right. So for example, if I check it out, I check it out here. So AutoGPT down, and N8N down, and Stable Diffusion, this one down, long flow here down, prompts chat not yet. Yeah, so the next open source project I should check out actually is this one, prompts.chat. Yeah, I hope that I will work on this one next week. Thank you, everyone. Bye.